Hello guys, welcome to Bike Matters. My name is Alex and welcome to Potski HQ, where today there's a Yamaha event where basically all of the 2023 range, including the MT-07, the Tracer 9 GT Plus that I've been riding today, plus loads of others. I mean, there's been the R1, there's the XSR 900, basically every bike, and also the Nike GT, which is pretty interesting. But I stuck to these two. I stuck on the MT-07 for two little bits of the day and the Tracer 9 GT Plus. Both fantastic bikes, but I'll cut this into two videos. So this one's going to be about the MT-07, the next video is going to be all about the Tracer 9 GT Plus. So let's get into it. So this is the 2023 Yamaha MT-07 and it's been updated a little bit really. I mean, we reviewed the 2022 model or the 2021 model a little bit ago, and it was Roger that rode that and he had a great time. He really loved the bike. The 2023 edition features a new TFT dash. It's 5 inches and it's really clear, really nice to use, and you can connect your phone to it with the My Ride Yamaha app if you wanted to. Then you can control your music, your calls, or just not at all and just enjoy the new style of dash. In my eyes, the old dash was absolutely fine. It was a reverse LED screen, worked fine, worked brilliantly really, and it's nice and clear and bright. But this TFT dash just brings the game up a little bit. For 2023, the price is £7,510. When it was initially launched in 2014, it was quite a bit cheaper. But of course, as time goes on, bike prices get a little bit more and more expensive. Last year, or the year before's model, it was priced in at £6,902. There we go. But in any case, price has gone up a little bit, but it's still a very cost-effective torque machine. And that's something that you'll see with the MT-07, the Tracer 7, you've got the Tenere 700, the R7. This CP2 motor finds its home in so many different variety of bikes. And that's really a credit to how torquey and versatile it is. Of course, naturally, it is an A2 compliant machine. It's 690cc, it's around about 72 brake horsepower and 67 Newton meters of torque. And on the road, this just handles so well. You've also got 30mm wider bars for this year, and it gives it a real nice street fighter feel. For me, the bike does feel a little bit compact and a little bit small, but I still got on with it really well and really nicely. And it was very comfortable for the sort of maybe 3-4 hours that I rode it today. And I really enjoyed just throwing it around the back roads really. Just clicking down gears and just being able to just open it up and have that torque on command. It's really linear delivery. And as I say, it's a torque machine. Cost effective, and I really enjoyed riding this about. There's a few little points that I would raise. As I say, this is only a real first taster for the MT-07. Funnily enough, I've not ridden this generation of bike before. This suspension was quite soft in a way that over some of the rough and bumps that you have on the UK roads, it did start to feel a little bit wallowy, a little bit, but it's all added to the character of the bike, because after the first initial maybe 10 minutes where you get used to it, I had no issues at all, and you sort of accommodate for the suspension in your riding. Of course, it's 41mm telescopic forks, and I'd raise that as like a negative, but it's not really a negative at all. It just means that this bike handles nice and soft for a wide range of rider. Because again, if you're an A2 rider looking to step up to the unrestricted model, or you're going to an A2 license and you get the restricted model, this bike's going to be nice and easy to ride, easy and controllable. And as I say, that CP2 motor sort of underpins it all. It's just great fun to ride. A few of the more sensible bits on this bike, it's got a 14-litre tank. We didn't ride it enough to really say how much of a distance you get on the tank, so we'll have to just throw up some stats on screen for what Yamaha claim. Seat height on this is 805mm. As I say, it felt a little bit cramped for me, but I'm just a taller rider. I'm 6'3" in boots, I guess. And to me, it was comfortable, but a smaller rider might be able to get on with this absolutely fine. So Brett, he's going to be fine on this. For me, it was okay. It was great. You see why a lot of people will look at the Yamaha MT range, really, the MT-07 in particular, for when they get the A2 license, because of the size of it and just how nimble and light it is to throw around. That particularly works well in cities and towns where you've got a lot of town work, a lot of filtering, commuting. The clutch is nice and light, for me at least, and you can't adjust the clutch, but the front brake you can adjust. But it was just nice and light, really easy to use, and you can just control that power nicely if you're slowly filtering past traffic, which we all love doing as bikers. The weight of the bike itself is 184 kilograms wet, so again, nice and easy to chuck around. I really found that the brakes as well, because you've got updated brakes from the last update of 298mm, twin discs at the front with 4-pot calipers, and then at the rear you've got a similar size rear brake disc. it's just really nice and easy to use, quite progressive, and the initial bite's nice. So if you're coming up to a sharper corner than you're expecting, you can just hammer on the brakes a little bit tighter and it will stop you nicely. It doesn't lurch on the power and it doesn't come in too softly. It's quite a nice middle biting point for the brakes, and quite good, again, if you're looking at this as a sort of stepping stone up to the MT-10s of the world. Now, having ridden some of the rivals of this bike, particularly the recent Suzuki GSX 8S, this is priced in at sort of the mid-range, I guess. Now, this one, as I say, 7,500 or thereabouts. The GSX 8S is closer to £8,000 at 7,999. The Hornet from Honda is 6,999, and then you start looking at the 790 Duke, and you're looking at the Moto Marinis, and they all sort of float around that price. But the Yamaha is a steadfast middle entry into that. So if you're looking at the naked bikes of the world, where there's plenty to choose from, looking at this, I would say it's quite a torquey machine. The front wheel does want to start lifting, and if you really push it, will do it. But if not, you can just ride it nice and gently and just poot around and go to the shops and commute on it. It will do it. Customization options, you can just go ham on this. Of course, you can start putting in some safety bits and bar end protectors and stuff like that. You can go for an exhaust option, you can go for like the cowl and screens. If I was using this as a touring machine, if I was going long distance, I'd probably be looking at the Tracer 7 or the Tenere 700, where you've got a bigger screen to protect. But this bike itself will just do it all. And I think that's what really holds the MT series so popular, having sold over 250,000 bikes. 250,000? Sounds about right. Anyway, they've sold loads of MTs over the years, since 2014. You see these all over the place, and there's a good reason for that, just purely because it's such an easy bike to ride and it will do it all. Whatever you throw at it, it will happily do it. Now, would I go for this one myself? I'd potentially look at an older generation of MT, just purely because the updates for this year are really nice. Like if you want to integrate your phone into the dash, that's really good. Got wider bars, make it feel a little bit more Street Fighter. But at the same time, if you look at maybe a 2021 model, it might be a little bit cheaper, and the Yamaha dealers might be wanting to get rid of those to get these ones in, so you might get a good deal. So personally, I'd start looking at the older generation, because you're going to still get the MT feel, but just maybe a little tiny bit less refined, but that's not a bad thing. The MT-07 was a fantastic bike to ride today. It's only really a taster. I only got to ride it, as I say, for 3, maybe 4 hours at a push. It's the Tracer 9 GT Plus that I really want to talk about. So we'll go to that in the next video, which you can click up here once it's out. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment down below of if this is the naked bike that you'd go for. And until then, ciao.